for the cooling, drying, fresh scent of Gold Bond powder spray. Like after the gym.
Or a crowded elevator ride.
Or golf.
Or working with farm animals.
Or a hard day's work.
Like sportscasting?
You said it, ladies. Stay cool with Gold Bond powder spray.
Stay cool with Gold Bond.
For over 75 years, Geico's kept an eye on the future, keeping customers happy with things like 24/7 customer support and emergency roadside service. And to prove it, here's one of our commercials from over 75 years ago.
At Geico, we promise to always find innovative new ways to serve you. In fact, we're so innovative, in 75 years, they'll listen to this old radio commercial and think, wow, they were innovative.
Wow, we are innovative.
Geico, saving people money for over 75 years.
And good morning. 9:02, Mark Westwood with you with the Inland Empire's only live and local news. On this Tuesday morning, firefighters fought a structure fire early in the morning in San Bernardino around 6 a.m. A fire broke out at a home in the 6500 block of Elm Avenue. Firefighters encountered smoke and flames coming from the detached building. Officials said nobody was injured in the blaze. The cause of the fire hasn't been determined, and neither have damages. Well, in San Bernardino, the long-awaited city plan of adjustment was released to the public Thursday regarding their long bankruptcy over 2 years, detailing proposed reductions to creditors, including the investors who hold nearly $50 million in pension obligation bonds, whose principal is slated to be reduced under the plan to only $500,000 or a penny on the dollar, and internal changes that the city consultants and others say will allow it to deter services for less, which means outsourcing. Although a host of area leaders who were online to review and present the plan presented their reasons why council members should vote for the plan, many others from the public expressed concerns or opposition. Today is the day the city council committed suicide for San Bernardino, said Scott Olson, one public member. Many were upset because no information was released before Thursday of this week due to a court-ordered gag order. In a stunning move, once again, the plan calls for a reduction of a $50 million debt of pension obligation bonds to just $500,000 or 1 cent on the dollar. 6 members of the council voted to send the plan to the BK judge on the 29th of this month, and council member Juan Valdivia opposed the plan. It is now in the hands of the justice system. As part of the 91 project road restructure, a full closure of the westbound 91 Main Street off-ramp in Corona will be required to be closed for a 10-month period. Motorists are encouraged to use Lincoln Avenue as a detour. And that's a look at news from your only local live news station, KCAA. Taking a look at weather, well, it looks like mostly cloudy through the morning, becoming partly cloudy this afternoon. Light winds to about 50 miles per hour, highs about 70 to 75. Tonight, partly cloudy in the evening, mostly cloudy, patchy fog overnight, lows 45 to 52. Currently, 60 degrees at KCAA. That's the news and weather from the station that leaves no listener behind. KCAA, 1050 AM.
Listen to KCAA Loma Linda for less confrontation and more information.
Like to spend a few days in another world? Then write this down. Golden Bear Cottages, Big Bear Lake. Now, listen, this is not some corporate-owned operation. It's family-owned and operated by some real nice people. Unique? Oh, you bet. Golden Bear Cottages features 28 one-of-a-kind cabins on a 5-acre historic site. Great for families, couples, and groups. And cabins are available with 1 to 7 bedrooms. Golden Bear Cottages is just a stone's throw from Big Bear Lake and super close to 3 great ski areas. Now, I could go on all day about Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear, but to see everything, just go to goldenbear.net. Again, goldenbear.net. Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear. Clean, comfortable, and affordable. Check them out. goldenbear.net.
What have I learned so far? Well, I've learned there's no one right path for everyone. I've learned that without my high school diploma, I could only do so much. My options were limited, very limited. I found a free personalized learning program with Learn for Life that has a flexible schedule so I can keep my job while earning my high school diploma. I found a new career with training opportunities that would jumpstart my future. What have I learned so far? I've learned that I could change my life.
Are you 14 to 19 years old and looking for a free high school diploma program with flexible meeting times? This program allows you to keep your job or...
This is KCAA.
This is the Ray Lucia Show.
Coming to the best for the answers here.
The one show that helps you make better money moves and provides strategies and solutions for your biggest financial challenges.
You guys talk about a lot of really good information that even I can understand.
Call Ray now at 844-RAY-SHOW. 844-RAY-SHOW. This is the Ray Lucia Show.
It is the one talk show in America all about your wealth and living the good life. Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is the Ray Lucia Show, the talk show that you got to tune into every day, because if you miss a tiny bit of this show, you may miss a bunch. And today, no exception. We got a great program all planned out for you today. But first, let's say hi to Bobby Woo Woo. Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Oh, my goodness, Ray. I like that pink setup today.
Well, you know what? I'm getting in touch with my feminine side, as my friend Bob Clyde once said to me. Okay, well, thank you. And now you think you got the pocket square thing going? You've been learning from the master.
Indeed. I am just the Jedi learning at your feet here.
Well, I'll tell you what. You get a lot of chicks with the pocket square. That's all I'm going to tell you. Not that I know. What do I know about getting chicks? Anyway, welcome, folks. The Ray program. Got a great show. Steve Alador will be joining us. Got a great testimonial in. I'll read it for you. Let you know that we only have the best guests. Also, Dana Rambo from Always Best Care will be joining us momentarily. We're going to talk a little bit about, aging in place, as it's called. Who doesn't want to age in their own home? And Dana is a specialist when it comes to that. A little bit later on in the show, Chris Jarvis. So sit back, relax. It's the Ray Revolution, and it starts right now with a little real estate today. Ahead of Steve Alador, I wanted to talk about this because so many people enter retirement, and today it's becoming more and more popular, maybe because of the low interest rates, I don't know. It's becoming more and more popular for individuals to carry mortgages long into their retirement. Most of the people that I talk to say, yes, well, I'm going to keep my mortgage, not because the interest rate is low, which would be a decent reason to hang on to it, but because it's tax deductible. And I want to take issue with that for most of us that are retired. I'll get to that in a second. But what got me thinking about it was Anya Martine, who wrote for the Wall Street Journal, retirees who opt to keep mortgage payments. And here's what Anya had to say. Maybe their parents paid off the house before retiring, but many baby boomers today say it makes more sense to carry a mortgage. The game changers, low interest rates, and high stock market returns. Let's stop right there for a second. All right? So low interest rates means that your mortgage interest deduction is going to be high or low? Will it be high or low? It's going to be low. If you have low interest, you're going to have low mortgage deduction. Will you even get the deduction? I'll get to that in a minute, because most of you will not. You won't get any deduction on your mortgage interest. I'll explain why in just a minute. High stock market returns. Stop there, because high stock market returns typically means high stock market valuations. And I think I've talked about this every day for the last week. The cyclically adjusted price to earnings ratio. Not a great forecaster for short-term stock market returns, but last time I checked, the mortgage was a fairly long-term investment. And according to most of the people that are forecasting the next 10 years in terms of returns for the stock market, not nearly as high as they have been historically. You kind of have to make up for a 250% S&P return over the last 6, and I don't think the market's ever gone up 7 years in a row. I could be wrong. It could go up 17 years in a row. We're not here to try to predict what's going to happen. All I can say is people are making a mistake if they think that they're getting a mortgage interest deduction and they're not during retirement. And even if they are, can they earn enough on their money to offset the cost of the loan. So let's talk about that for just a second here, Bobby. Who gets to take a mortgage interest deduction? Only those that file a longer form tax return. You must, that's a Schedule A, as it's called. So mortgage interest appears on the Schedule A. Now, retired people have to have enough in Schedule A deductions to offset their standard deduction. Standard deduction for a couple of 65-year-olds is somewhere near $15,000. So you'd have to have $15,000 of other write-offs, $14,000, whatever the number is. You'd have to have $14,000 or $15,000 of other write-offs, and then, and only then, will the mortgage interest be fully deductible. If mortgage interest is part of that $15,000, then it's only partially income tax deductible. So that's number one. Okay, let's see. On a Schedule A, property taxes, all right, so you got to pay $3,000 in property taxes. What else? I'm coming up short on other Schedule A deductions. Mortgage interest. So between your property taxes, you have a $200,000 loan, you're paying 4%, that's $8,000 in interest, plus the property taxes. You haven't even broken through the standard deduction. You get that anyway. You get it either way. So yes, if you're in your, prime earning years and you got a whole bunch of kids and dependents and all kinds of other, Schedule A write-offs, okay, well, maybe the interest deduction is important to you. But here's where retirees and these baby boomers are making a big mistake. The 4%. Let's say they got a 4% loan. Darn good loan rate, right? 4%. They're not getting a deduction for it, so it's costing them 4%. In other words, if I'm in a 25% tax bracket and I can deduct my 4%, my net cost is 3%. So my bogey is I've got to go out and earn at least 3% to make the payment, but it's more than that because that's just the interest. If I've got to pay the principal on top of that, I've got to go out and make enough money on the money that I invest to make the whole mortgage payment for it to make sense, don't I? Because when we get to retirement, this is not so much about return on your money. It's a cash flow game. Am I going to have enough money to eat? So by paying off the mortgage, and I'm telling you, I have come full circle on this as I've aged. The closer I get to hanging up my cleats, the more convinced I am that having a free and clear mortgage when you are fully retired, not while you're still working, it's okay to have a mortgage while you're still working because you can afford it. But if you have to go out and invest your money safely because you can't afford to take risk, you need to have safe money. How much are you earning on your safe money accounts? Are you getting 4% to cover your 4% interest? Not to mention another 1% or 2% in principal payments? Are you earning that safely? I wish you were, but I doubt that you are. Because if you're earning 4, 5, 6%, don't call me. Call Obama. Call the Treasury Department. Say, hey, I got a great idea for you. Let's borrow some money from the Japanese and the Chinese and reinvest it over here and get 6% or 5%. Wouldn't that be great? Because they're lending money out today for 10 years at about 2.2%. So you're not going to earn that kind of money safely. And anybody that tells you that you can put the money into a diversified portfolio and earn that amount safely obviously has not studied history. I have. And I can tell you there have been periods of 10, 15 years where you haven't earned 4%. And it clearly hasn't been safe. It's been far from safe. So carrying a mortgage on into retirement, usually not a good idea, irrespective of what many baby boomers say. Because if they think they're getting the mortgage interest deduction, they're probably not. And even if they are, it's not that easy to invest the money safely and make the numbers work. Okay, that. Now, coming up, Steve Aladort. Here's an interesting story that I read over last weekend. Do renovations pay off during retirement? And I happen to be the world's expert in renovations. And the world's expert on telling you, no, they do not pay off. I mean, every time I've done it, and we're doing it right now because we're getting ready to sell our house and downsize and all that stuff. And we were looking at the woodworking, and it'd be nice to have the wood repainted and all that stuff. $8,000 bucks. $8,000. No, I think you're better off, hiring your brother-in-law to come over and just doctor it up a little bit, put something on it for, $500. But I'm going to ask Steve Alladort about this. Which renovations actually pay? None of them. Which renovations will actually pay you money if you're going to sell your home? What does the National Association of Realtors, etc., and Remodeling Magazine tell you about that? I'll ask Steve Alladort, too. So don't go away. 844-RAY-SHOW is the number. If you want to talk about this stuff, email me, raylucia.com, RAYLUCIA.com. Just remember, there's no H in Lucia. Why? Because we got the H out of there. That's what we're going to do right now. We're getting the H out of here. But we'll be back, so don't go away. The Ray Lucia continues.
This is a coordinated emergency alert system monthly test of the broadcast stations and cable systems of our area. Equipment that can warn you during emergencies is being tested. This concludes this monthly test of the emergency alert system. If this had been an actual emergency, such as an earthquake, fire, or flood, official messages would have followed the alert tone. Kcaa 1050 AM serves the Riverside San Bernardino area. This concludes this monthly test of the emergency alert system.
This is KCAA.
Hi, everybody. Ray Lucia here. We just saw the biggest jump in mortgage rates in more than 25 years. So now it's more important than ever to lock in your loan with a professional who has a thorough understanding of this wild mortgage market. That pro, Steve Alladort, the loan financial planner from Rancho Financial. Steve is one of the top 1% of mortgage originators in the entire country. And for years, Steve has worked with me, my family members and friends, and in most cases will close your loan in 30 days or less. Time is critical if you're ready to buy or refi. No one knows where rates will go next. Learn the advantages of working with a direct lender who can fast-track your loan. Steve Alladort can calculate which program is best for you and educate you about all of your options. Call the loan financial planner, Steve Alladort, at 888-563-1070. That's 888-563-1070. Or watch Steve's free home loan webinar at loanfinancialplanner.com. That's loanfinancialplanner.com.
Are your student loans making life miserable? Optimum Student Solutions can now help consolidate your federal student loans. That's right, we can help lower your monthly payment on your federal student loans. In some cases, you can lower your monthly payments in half. It doesn't matter how much you owe, even if you are in default on your federal student loans. Just call us right now and find out if you qualify for these substantial savings. We'll help you remove your default status, lower your monthly payments, and stop wage garnishments. Let our experts eliminate the confusion and find the best payment solution for you. All you have to do is make the call. If you are a teacher, nurse, police officer, firefighter, or work for a nonprofit, new federal programs are available that may have a portion of your student loan forgiven. Stop worrying and start saving. Call now, 800-375-1159. That's 800-375-1159. Get free information. Call now, 800-375-1159. That's 800-375-1159.
What have I learned so far? Well, I've learned there's no one right path for everyone. I've learned that without my high school diploma, I could only do so much. My options were limited, very limited. I found a free personalized learning program with Learn for Life that has a flexible schedule so I can keep my job while earning my high school diploma. I found a new career with training opportunities that would jumpstart my future. What have I learned so far? I've learned that I could change my life.
Are you 14 to 19 years old and looking for a free high school diploma program with flexible meeting times? This program allows you to keep your job or important family responsibilities while earning your high school diploma. If you've fallen behind on credits or dropped out of school completely, get back on track with free tutoring, a caring faculty, and one-on-one attention. For more information on how to reach your graduation goal, visit learnforlife.org. That's LEARN, the number 4, LIFE.org. Or Enroll today by calling 877-360-LEARN. That's 877-360-LEARN.
It's Mike Manahan, host of Biz Rap Radio, the show all about small business and entrepreneurs. Join me every Friday at 3 p.m. right here on KCAA Radio.
KCAA, where every day is a great day. KCAA, Loma Linda.
And I sang that song once. I was up in the mountains somewhere, and I can actually hit the high notes. It had something to do with I don't know how, I was in Aspen, Colorado, and I hit the high notes singing that song. Get down to sea level, can't even touch it. Anyway, welcome back. That's the animals. Speaking of an animal, we got an animal of a mortgage dude in the house. That's Steve Alladort. Hey, Stevie.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I got this email in from Mr. Tim here. And this is fantastic. Can I share this with our listeners?
Absolutely.
You know, Steve is the lone financial planner. We've had him on the air for like 20 years. And so many people, including myself and just about every one of my family members, have done multiple loans through Steve. But it's really nice to get an email. And this is from Tim. I've listened to Steve many times on the Ray Lucia show. And one point he continually made was that when getting a home loan, you'll need to provide a great deal of documentation prior to securing a loan. He sounds excited about that. That he was excited about getting the documentation together. Difference between Tim and me. I hate that stuff.
Yeah, and as we've talked about, it's so important to get the documentation that we need in order to properly package a mortgage loan.
Here's what's interesting. He says, when my wife and I decided to relocate from Los Angeles, I took the first step by calling Steve and started the paperwork to secure the home loan. Steve walked me through the process, and within a month, I was able to get him the majority of the information. So this guy's pretty organized. Steve was able to give me a good idea of how much of a loan I could get based on an estimated purchase price, down payment, and what monthly payments would be. He goes on to brag about you. I don't want to do too much of that because I'll give you a big head. But this guy, I mean, you're in San Diego.
Okay to give me a big head.
No, you already
it's
have
nice
a big
every
head.
once in a while.
This guy lived in Los Angeles. His house that he was buying was in Santa Rosa.
Correct.
And you're in San Diego, and he was bragging all over you that this doesn't have to be a localized thing because you got the deal done anyway.
Yeah, and you know, people have to realize in this age of being able to electronically transmit documents, how everything's all set up, is that you don't, not only do you not have to be in the same area, it's so important to find somebody that knows what they're doing. Now, this gentleman was exceedingly complicated. His wife had 3 different trust incomes. He had a Schedule C income coming in. He had a significant amount of money in different accounts, and he had to sell stock. He was moving money from one account to another. And one of the things that's really important in the mortgage business right now, and what lenders look at, is the tracking of funds to close, where they're coming from. If they're stocks or bonds and they're sold, we need to show that they've been sold and what accounts they've gone into. So with this gentleman, there was significantly more documentation than most of the clients that I've had. And one of the reasons why, I mean, it normally doesn't take a month to get everything, but
it would me.
But he was a good planner, and he knew he was going to buy in about 3 or 4 months. So when he heard us talking on the radio on how important it is to do all of that stuff, he said, wow, since I'm really complicated, I might want to get this started early, which is what he did. And we did one step after another, so that when it came time for him to make the offer, we had his file dialed in, we had him credit approved, we were able to get the documentation we need and close within 30 days.
So what you did for him is you got him approved before he even found the house?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the pre-approval process. I mean, you've done this with me, with my kids, with my brother, with family members, Johnny Dean, everybody that I know. You've done this for at least one time, in most instances, multiple times. And folks, it works out great. Because what Steve does is he gets you prepared. The one thing you don't want to do is get into a situation where you're scrambling at the end. Like my daughter, who didn't use you because you remember what happened. The builder said, we're going to, you know, if you use my lender, we're going to give you this great deal. And she went down to, she almost lost the house deal because she went down to the wire and they were still trying to track down documentation the day before close.
And that's the toughest part. I mean, the most important thing when you're looking to buy a home is not to start looking, say, oh, wow, there's something I want to buy, and then call up a lender. The better prepared you are when you go out on the market, not only does it make the process easier, but in this market, the market's fairly hot right now. So if you're buying in an area where it's a nice home and it's well priced, there may be 6 or 7 offers. So the strongest offer, the one that's best prepared, the borrower that has the credit approval letter where we could close within 30 days. And I've had actually a couple of transactions where we had the borrower's credit approved, and because I told them we could close within 21 days, which we've been able to do, we were able to get the home with 5 or 6 different offers. So it's so important to properly prepare before you go out and make that home purchase.
And the way to do that, of course, is go to loanfinancialplanner.com and have Steve help you. Now, he can help everybody that's listening one way or the other, even though he is limited to certain states. But you can still go to loanfinancialplanner.com, and he'll help you one way or the other. I know that because I've had people email me, and thank you for that. It's a fantastic
service. It's my pleasure. You know, it's something that I feel is the right thing to do.
We were just talking about renovations, you know, and do they pay off in retirement? I guess if you're going to live in the house for the next 20 or 30 years and die there, they do. But are there times when renovations can actually help a person who's trying to refinance their home?
Either refinancing or selling, and it can. Square footage is always the king. You add square footage, it helps to the value of the home. Doing kitchen remodels makes a big difference. But also remember, if you're dealing with a strong, hot market, when people are going in to look to purchase a home, a lot of it's an emotional buy. And if there are 2 or 3 homes they're looking at, and your home has upgraded kitchen, upgraded appliances, you could potentially not only get more offers, but higher offers, because your house and all of the neat little things on the inside are much more appealing to a buyer.
Do buyers ever say, well, you know what, I could do that myself and do it for less money, so I'll just buy the house as is? I could never do that because I don't have that kind of vision.
And it all depends on the type of buyer. If they're out and they're looking for that special deal.
I just want to buy a model home.
And to make it easy and to be able to move in.
My wife hates that about me.
Well, and then having the furniture in the house as well.
I want it all.
That's right.
That's why we have 6 storage units, because the last house I bought was a model type home that already had the furniture. I didn't want to mess with it. And now, of course, we're selling that, or we haven't decided exactly when to sell it, but it's going to happen in the next year or so. Yeah. But they say here that you only get 56%. Is that right? Oh, 67.8% on a major kitchen remodel. Average cost about 57 grand. You get about 39 grand back.
And again, it all depends. Realize that if you're looking to sell the home, then there might be a few things that you can do. You don't want to go overboard as far as spending, but realize your home is your home. So if you're planning on being there for a period of time, you do the upgrades so that you're more comfortable in the home, and then down the line, there'll be a higher chance that you'll be able to command a higher value for the property.
Okay, unfortunately, we are out of time, but next time, can we talk more, because I've had a lot of questions on using your retirement funds to help you qualify for a mortgage.
I'm working with a client right now where she thought she wasn't going to be able to do anything, and we're putting something together to be able to do that.
All
absolutely.
Right. Loanfinancialplanner.com, or you can call Steve at this number.
888-563-1070.
888-563-1070. Loanfinancialplanner.com. Excellent job.
Appreciate it, my friend.
Stevie Wonder Alador. When we come back, we're going to talk about home care. How important is that? Stick around. Let's just say very important.
This is KCAA.
California headline news. Some moisture could be moving into the northern part of the state, and forecasters are predicting El Nino conditions for next winter, saying there's a greater chance this time around than last, when many inaccurately predicted the same thing.
Last winter was the 4th punishing year in a row of drought
almost no snowpack. It was definitely not El Nino, but El No-Show.
Bill Patzer with NASA in Pasadena says even with lots of rain next winter, drought conditions would likely remain. A Southern California woman battling cancer pleads for the safe return of her stolen bird, who she's had for nearly 30 years, stolen by a man who broke into her home.
They so touch my life, my heart. I had the bird all the time. He is really special.
Maria Chavez offering a $1,000 reward for the safe return of her beloved macaw, Mickey. San Diego officer Heather Seddon continuing to improve after being shot in the neck and shoulders Sunday. The suspect shot to death. Geico weather, increasing clouds in Northern California. Jeff Scott, California News.
When the economy crashed in 2008, the Fed lowered interest rates. They've been low ever since. But now the economy's improving, and most experts believe the Fed will start raising interest rates very soon. That means you should refinance your mortgage now to pull cash out of your home at today's low rates, because once the Fed starts raising rates, they probably won't stop. So beat the Fed to the punch and refi your mortgage before it's too late by making the cash call at 877-890-CASH. Today, Cash Call Mortgage is offering a 15-year fix at 2.875% rate and APR with no closing costs. You have the chance to pull tens of thousands out of your home, lock in a low rate, and pay absolutely nothing out of pocket. But you have to act now. Cash Call Mortgage is designed to save. Call 877-890-CASH today.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. Equal Housing Lender. Call 866-900-8744 for terms and restrictions. Rates may change without notice. California Department of Business Oversight. Residential Mortgage Lender Law License 4131083. NMLS 128231.
That's 877-890-CASH.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
Good morning, 9:32, 63 degrees, and time for sports with Fred Wallen.
Hey, thanks, Mark, very, very much. On the ice, the Ducks try to go up 2-0 on the Blackhawks at the Honda Center this evening, and Game 1, of course, was all Anaheim, 4-1. All right, let's move on to the National Basketball Association, and no, the Clippers are out of it. Warriors are a 10-point pick over the Rockets tonight at Oracle in Northern California. You have to question the emotional and physical state of the Rockets after having battled from that 3-1 deficit against the Clippers. You really do. The total on the game is 219.5, so it's a big number. If you want my thoughts on that game and other games, go to PhoenixSports.com, PhoenixSports.com. Warriors were 39-2 during the regular season at home. A tough game for the Rockets, I believe. Moving on to Wednesday, of course, Atlanta, a 1.5-point pick at home versus King LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Who do you like in that one? You could email us at sportsfred@aol.com, sportsfred@aol.com. Tonight, the Lakers will discover their fate as far as the draft is concerned, the ping pong balls. Lakers ended up with the fourth worst record in the NBA. After the ping pong balls, they must end up in the bottom 5. If they don't, they lose that pick to Philadelphia. And believe me, the Lakers need a lot of help. That'll be a lot of fun to watch tonight on television on ESPN. It wasn't fun to watch the Angels yesterday as they were clobbered by Toronto 10-6. C.J. Wilson gave up 10 hits in 5 frames. Dodgers play the Giants tonight in Northern California on Thursday. For the third time this year, it's Kershaw versus Bumgarner. That should be a goodie. And, of course, all the games are blacked out here in Southern California, 80% of us. Shame on the Dodgers. Shame on Time Warner Cable. And shame on you if you don't listen to sports to us on Wednesday right here on KCAA Radio. Bye, everybody.
And that's sports from KCAA, 1050 AM, and Fred Wallen.
KCAA is your CNBC News affiliate. We're the station that gets down to business.
This is Dick from Carpet Masters. Carpet Masters has been serving the Inland Empire for over 55 years. Carpet Masters uses extraction cleaning for your carpet because there's no better cleaning to remove the soil from your carpet. All of our furniture cleaning is done by hand in your home or in our plant. Carpet Masters also offers dry cleaning for fine furniture. Call Carpet Masters at 793-7215. That's 793-7215 for Carpet Masters.
Don't miss a minute of the action. Check out the podcasts at www.kcaaradio.com. The station that leaves no listener behind, AM 1050 KCAA.
Talk about a baby boomer song from the ages. The Who, of course, talking about my generation. Mary Beth Franklin wrote just the other day, elder care needs will transform the advice industry. We have been covering this every week on the program. It's so important that you have a plan in place for your parents, for example, certainly yourself. Your kids may end up being the caregivers or primary caregivers, and this becomes a real issue, especially as more and more of us want to age in place. Joining me on the show, Dana Rambo. She's a nurse and the vice president of Always Best Care, a specialist in home health. Dana, thank you so much for joining us. You've got a tremendous amount of experience in this area, this aging in place. What do you see as the primary challenge confronting us baby boomers today?
Honestly, it's probably access of, for care for our parents. There's a lot of different access points for home care. Most of us don't know about it unless we've dealt with it. Our parents are aging as we're baby boomers. We're coming into aging into seniors ourselves, and that getting above the 65 age group, and our parents are in their, 80 to 90-year-old age group. So, finding out, even knowing what your parents are going to need, how to access the care, when's the right time, all of those things are a challenge for the baby boomers today.
That being said, at what age do you primarily see this need for home health care services? Is it in their 80s? Is it their 90s? Is it their 70s?
No, somebody who's got a lot of, health issues may need to access care in their 70s, but predominantly our median age of our clients are in their 80s. That's when, they can't drive anymore safely. Typically, they may think they can drive, but the family is more concerned about it. They might be experiencing some memory issues. They might be poor historians if they go to the doctor, and their families typically don't live in the same community and often not in the same state as their, parent or grandparents. And so it's tough to kind of figure out what's going on there unless you come out for the holidays. So that's usually a big boom for us is around the holidays, because the kids come out, see mom and dad or mom or dad, and figure out, wow, I really wish somebody was checking in on them. There's some issues here I'm concerned about.
AlwaysBestCare.com is the website. 1-855-470-CARE if you'd like to get a hold of Always Best Care. Dana Rambo is my guest. She's not only a registered nurse with an area of specialization in elder care, but also the vice president of the company. Can you talk just a little bit about Always Best Care and the services that you provide nationwide?
Sure. We have 112 locations out there nationwide, and they're all following a system that provides for non-medical care and senior placement. So, if you're, concerned about your loved one, staying home, and maybe there's not the financial resources to provide for, additional care in the home, then sometimes placing them in a facility, a assisted living facility or an independent facility, depending on, what activities of daily living they may need assistance on, looking for that placement so that there's somebody there taking care of their meals in the household and the linens and the laundry change and the housekeeping, and providing activities and stimulation for the senior if they're capable of that. So that placement side is one side. The other side is if they have the financial resources or a long-term care insurance, policy, and can stay home with that, home health aide or companion caregiver doing some supportive services in the home, then we provide that as well. We're also making a move to skilled care so that we can provide the full continuum of care for our clients. And some of our franchisees are actually moving to providing Medicare skilled care as well, so that no matter where the senior is coming into the system, whether they need skilled or just some supportive activities of daily living care in the home or placement into a different living environment, we're there to help them with every facet.
This is an excellent service. There's no doubt about it. Those of us that have aging parents, we've experienced this. A lot of them still very, very healthy. As I've said many times before, my father, 90 years old, still alive and kicking and doing really, really well, although the memory is starting to slip. How do you help those that are at the beginning stages of dementia or, say, Alzheimer's?
Well, it's really important that whatever the senior is capable of doing themselves, that they continue to do, because, what you don't use, you lose. So if there's memory issues, it might be related to eating, it may be related to hydration, it may be related to personal hygiene or their medication, remembering to take their medication. So those are the things that usually an impairment of memory is going to affect those things. So we're there to, maybe set up the medications into a Mediset where the aide can remind like let's say we're taking care of your father, and the aide might come in and do some, medication reminders. They would cue them if they're capable of taking their own shower. We might just cue them and set out, fresh clothes, and they'll go in and take their shower, by themselves. We may lay out the things because cognitively they may not remember that they need to shampoo their hair and do all those things, but they're still capable of washing their body. We're going to make sure that the private areas get cleaned as well sufficiently, because we don't want any skin issues. And we're there to make sure that they eat and drink appropriately, and that they're, whether or not that's hooking them up with mobile meals or Meals on Wheels, because we're not there full time, or it's us, cooking, preparing the meals, making sure that they're eating, preparing meals for other times that we're not there, that is easily, heated up in a microwave, those type of things. We can do all kinds of supportive care, anywhere from 2 to 24 hours a day.
My special guest, Dana Rambo, a registered nurse and a vice president of home health care at Always Best Care, brought to us today by my good friends at Answers for Elders. AnswersForElders.com, a company that provides, just like it sounds, answers for those of us that have aging parents and want to have answers to all of the issues that an elderly individual or a family might need to face. Now, in the case of Always Best Care, you talked about skilled nursing services. This is not necessarily common amongst companies that provide the types of services that you all provide. What caused you to get into the skilled side of this business?
Honestly, it's just the need of the seniors. As our seniors are aging in place and looking at, access to care and the challenges that we're going to have with the volume of seniors, with the baby boomers, aging in place here, that need for skilled services is going to increase dramatically. And we really felt that as an organization, where we're capable, if we can provide that full continuum of care, and take them from their skilled need, out of an acute care setting, whether that's, a hospital and then they've gone to some rehab before they come home and we get them, or if we get them directly out of the hospital, they have needs that are skilled needs usually at that point. And most of our, most seniors will access, that are of Medicare age, will have 2 to 3 episodes per year where they need skilled care assistance. So we felt it was incumbent upon ourselves as a healthcare agency to really be able to manage the client no matter what phase they came into our system in. So whether they need skilled care, that post-acute care need, or an exacerbation, or a part of their disease process that flares up and that they, may need additional assistance, that we're there to help them with every facet of their care.
All right, Dana Rambo, thank you so much. I'm assuming, Dana, that there's a cost to all of these services. Do you help them with, say, reverse mortgages and long-term care insurance and referrals and that sort of thing in the 30 seconds that we have left?
Yes, of course we do. We do have networks in our various communities. If someone's looking to access long-term care, most of our franchisees have the ability to give them referrals for that. Obviously, we do try and look for whatever type of funding sources we can. Medicare is covered at 100%. That's another reason why we went into it. But we do help them, access their long-term care policies or their HMO policies if they have that available to them for the other services.
All right, I can think of nothing more important. Our parents did this for us, and now it's time for us to do something special for them. Contact Always Best Care, alwaysbestcare.com, 855-470-CARE, 855-470-2273. Or just go to AnswersForElders.com. They'll put you in touch with the Always Best Care representative in your area. Thank you so much. Dana, we'll have you on again. You're fantastic guest. I really appreciate it. Folks, we'll take a quick break and come back with calls and emails. 844-RAY-SHOW is the number if you'd like to get on board. Emails at raylucia.com. RAYLUCIA.com. Back in a flash, so stay tuned to the Ray Lucia Show.
The difference between us and the other stations? We like you. We really, really like you. AM 1050 KCAA.
When the going got tough, Barack got in a huff, then he got gruff. President Obama has worked himself into such a tizzy over the TPP that he's lashing out at his progressive friends in Congress. He's mad because they refuse to be stereotypical lemmings, following him over this political cliff called the Trans-Pacific Partnership. It masquerades as a free trade agreement, but such savvy and feisty progressive senators as Sherrod Brown, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren have ripped off the mask, revealing that TPP is not free, not about trade, and not anything that the American people would ever agree to. It's a stealth power grab, written in top-secret negotiations by and for multinational corporations from the U.S. and 11 other nations. It effectively empowers these profiteering corporate giants to overrule actions by the governments of any of these countries, including ours, that protect consumers, workers, the environment, and other interests from corporate abuse. Why an American president, especially a Democrat, would embrace this private usurpation of our people's sovereignty is a mystery, but the great majority of congressional Democrats are not going along. So he's been publicly scolding them as though they're disobedient children, huffily whining that they're playing politics, whooping on me, and making up, quote, stuff about how this deal allows corporations to challenge and even change American laws. Yet, rather than offer any evidence that they're making stuff up, Obama has gruffly made up stuff about them. By opposing the TPP, he prevaricated in a recent speech, the Democrats are anti-trade and want to, quote, pull up the drawbridge and build a moat around ourselves. This Jim Hightower saying, what a pathetic show of presidential petulance. It's time for Obama to question himself, not his friends.
This is Dick from Carpet Masters. Carpet Masters has been serving the Inland Empire for over 55 years. Carpet Masters uses extraction cleaning for your carpet because there's no better cleaning to remove the soil from your carpet. All of our furniture cleaning is done by hand in your home or in our plant. Carpet Masters also offers dry cleaning for fine furniture. Call Carpet Masters at 793-7215. That's 793-7215 for Carpet Masters.
Do you have a broken window or rock chip on your vehicle that needs repair? Give us a call at HM Auto Glass, 951-858-5190. HM Auto Glass is your locally owned and operated auto glass specialist, offering low cost and high quality auto glass repair and replacement. We also work with all major insurance companies and offer free mobile service. So call us, 951-858-5190. That number again is 951-858-5190.
If you like jazz, you'll enjoy getting together with me, Tommy Hawkins, a jazz hawk. Tune into my show, Just Jazz, Saturday nights, 10 to midnight on KCAA 1050 AM.
In a world of boring talk, misinformation, and mindless chatter, two superheroes emerge.
Okay, that sounded manly.
No, you gotta be kidding me.
Let's go!
The action.
Fridays just got real right here on KCAA. Get ready to pour yourself your favorite beverage and kick it with Ben and Alexander right here. The Happy Hour every Friday evening at 6 on KCAA 1050 AM.
This is KCAA.
Hello, I'm Patrick Kavanaugh, co-founder of AgNet West, inviting you to listen to our weekday reports on KCAA radio during morning drive-in at noon. California's #1 in agriculture, our 80,000 farms and ranches produce 400 commodities with a combined annual output of $50 billion.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
Hey, welcome back, folks, to the Ray program. Really important stuff today, this elder care business. Critically important for us baby boomers with aging parents, no doubt about that. AlwaysBestCare.com. Just remember that. Probably a good idea to write it down because you never know when you might need that. Hey, Bobby, we're hitting the road, Jack.
Well, you are. I'm not an accredited investor, unfortunately, so I miss out on breakfast and hanging out with some good people.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. If you happen to be in the Portland, Oregon area, beautiful hotel, Hotel Monaco, stayed there before. We've got the breakfast buffet coming out, the whole omelet bar, the whole deal. And here's the best part about it. It's free, but you do have to be an accredited investor. It's the Accredited Investor Summit. Go to accreditedinvestorsummit.com. Learn about what the big-time family offices, the endowments, how they're investing their money, the billionaires, and how you might be able to do it just like them. We're going to be talking about different investment opportunities, and you're not going to want to miss it. AccreditedInvestorSummit.com, 888-629-1299. As I said, it will be all free. All right, let's see if we can take a quick phone call from Jeff out in Camp Hills, Pennsylvania. Hello, Jeff. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Ray. Thank you very much for taking my call.
You're very welcome. How can we help you?
Thank you. Actually, I'm doing a follow-up call. I talked to you the other day, and you suggested that I pay off a loan that I have on a home, which is currently at 5.25%. That home is actually a second home. It's currently rented. And I took your advice and put the title into an LLC, and annually I pay a legal fee to have that LLC. I'm questioning how I should proceed with a couple things. If I move into that home and stop renting it, should I switch the title back into my personal name? Should I drop the LLC, the legal expense? It's not much, but drop it. I assume I should switch the homeowner's insurance from a renter to a resident.
Yes. Yes and no, or no and yes. Okay, first off, the LLC is good. It's good to keep the LLC because what you want to do is have that home in the limited liability company isolated from your other assets. As I recall, you have quite a bit in other assets. So the LLC acts as its own bubble. The house goes in the bubble. If you get sued, then while the assets of that home could potentially be taken from you, your other assets cannot if you operate the LLC properly. This is why when we talked last time, we want to make sure you have ample umbrella coverage and property and casualty coverage, but the LLC still makes sense. Now, the other question was what? What was your other question?
Well, the homeowner's insurance, I assume I should contact them and let them know it's no longer rented and I'm living in it.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And you want to make sure that the LLC is additionally insured and you personally are additionally insured on the homeowner's policy. And make sure you get a big umbrella if you're renting this place out because you want to protect the assets. If you're paying off the mortgage, and I think one of the things we talked about last time is, all right, does it make sense if it's a rental property to pay off the mortgage where you're actually putting the equity at some risk of someone coming in and suing you? And I think you should talk to the property and casualty broker about that. I've always been in the camp that said, you know what? It's an added layer of protection. However, at 5.25%, it's hard to get that safely today. So I probably would still be in favor if you had surplus cash in your estate. Instead of earning 0.3%, earn what is tantamount to 5.25%. Just up your property and casualty coverage.
Okay, yes, thank you. And that is correct, as what you said in the past. The one clarification, there wouldn't be any renters anymore. I would be living in the condo.
Okay, if you live in the condo, to me it's an absolute no-brainer to pay it off because you're less likely to get sued. And I don't think you have to worry about taking it out of the LLC. Who knows? You might throw a beer kegger party and somebody fall off your balcony and break their neck and want to sue you because it was your fault they drank too much. I don't know. I'm just saying it doesn't hurt you to keep the LLC for the amount of money that it costs you.
One last related question, if I may.
Sure.
The home in Pennsylvania, the timing of the sale is what I'm concerned about, or the tax effect of the timing of the sale. So if I'm moving to this new home in Arizona, my Pennsylvania home, I will sell at some point. Does it matter when I sell it?
It does. It does. Remember, the rules on selling a principal residence is you must have lived in the home for 2 years out of the prior 5 years. So if you move out, you have to have the house sold in order to get the $500,000 if you're married exemption, $250,000 capital gains exemption. If you're single, you'll have to have the house sold before the 365th day of the 3rd year. That way you can still answer the question, yes, I lived in the house for 2 years out of the prior 5 years.
You have to live in it as a primary.
As a primary, correct. All right?
Primary resident.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much for the call. I guess he called a week or two ago.
Yeah, I remember.
And we were talking about this, and as I recall from the conversation, he does very well financially. And one of the questions is, should he, move into his rental property in Arizona, moving out of, Pennsylvania? Mm-hmm. Now, who would do that? Who would do that? Especially this time of the year. It's beautiful in Pennsylvania this time of the year. Now, if he called back, maybe it was in February he was calling when it was super cold. Anyway, just keep in mind on the sale of a principal residence that you've lived in for a while, you can move out of it. You don't even have to, worry about the capital gains rules if you sell the property before the 3rd year is up. And so that's what he has to do.
And I remember Jeff did have a lot of other assets you wanted to protect, so that's why you said keep the LLC. If it was someone else's situation who didn't quite have as much
money. In his case, the LLC for a principal residence is not really that necessary because you're not renting the place out. Mm-hmm. But his cost to maintain it, not that much. If it were California, it's $800 a year to maintain an LLC. So, you'd have to weigh whether or not I could spend $800 and it could $10 million umbrella coverage. Mm-hmm. But in his case, I don't think it's going to hurt him in the LLC. I'm out of time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to The Ray Lucia Show. If you need me, go to therayluciashow.com.
You're listening to The Ray Lucia Show, taking calls from across the nation and answering questions about your biggest financial challenges. Ray Lucia is not a registered representative of or affiliated with any securities brokerage.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 a.m. The station that leaves no mystery behind.
Waco Shootout. I'm Evan Haining.
I've made it very clear that I made a mistake, plain and simple.
After 27 days of taking no questions from reporters, Democratic presidential contender Hillary Clinton says her vote to go to war in Iraq was a bad one. At a campaign stop in Iowa today, she also said the U.S. is doing what it can to fight ISIS, but it's ultimately up to Iraq.
We can provide support, but they're going to have to do it.
Police in Waco, Texas are downplaying reports that 4 bikers were killed by law enforcement in Sunday's shootout. Waco Police Sergeant Patrick Swanton says there have been threats of retaliation.
There have been credible, reliable threats towards law enforcement in and around our area. I will tell you those have toned down a bit over the past 24 hours.
The date of Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev